This video is brought to you by ProBoxingSupplies.com, where you can get 25% off now, and PowerPerformanceProducts.com, where you can get $10 off your purchase of Body Storm and Body Effects.
So how have you dealt with the anticipation for this thing? Obviously just days away, you got fans screaming.
Yeah, I mean, that's just part of it.
I know that you've been training out with Vinny Margulies. How's that been going for you, switching up things, working on your ground game as a jiu-jitsu artist?
Yeah, he's awesome. You know, he's so good. And, I mean, he's changed positions with just a few words. Yeah, he's been great.
He seems to think that you can submit Anderson. What do you think about that?
Oh, yeah, I can submit Anderson. Anderson can submit me. Yeah, of course. I mean, it's a fight, of course.
Chael, the fans pay their money and they're entitled to boo, cheer, whatever. But what about the Brazilian media? Have they been fair with you across the board?
Yeah, absolutely. And so are the Brazilian fans. You know, they don't have to cheer me. You know, part of being a fan is cheering your guy and oftentimes booing his opponent. So, you know, I think they've got it right. You know, they fly over in numbers. They bring their flag. They wait out here in the hot heat. They've got it right.
Do you find that there's any disadvantages in preparing for somebody that you've already fought? I mean, we know that you basically had the better of that fight with Anderson, but have you found there to be any, I guess, setbacks in preparing, being that you might be maybe overanalyzing too much of the last fight?
I've never even seen the last fight, but you are right. You can definitely overanalyze something. You know, we call that paralysis by analysis, but you know, I haven't seen it, so no.
What do you make of him getting in your face like that at the press conference? Do you think that's you getting in his head? Do you think that's a positive for you?
No, you know, in his head, man, he's in my head. I think about that guy every single day. And what's the difference? It's not going to help. You know, if I'm in his head, it's not going to help me land a right cross on Saturday night. I'm going to have to do that with my skills.
Hey, mister. What do you think about Anderson say about you? Hi.
Oh, my friend!
Do you remember me?
Now, this is Mr. Shockpin from Brazil.
Yeah.
Do you know this guy?
Oh, give me your hand. I miss you.
This guy has this nose. I'm doing this interview, and I'm thinking, I think that's a fake nose, but on the off chance that the poor guy had like a surgery or something, you know, I'd better just, you know,
okay,
it was one of those. Then he gives me a shock pin that zaps my finger.
It's a joke. It's a joke from Brazil, okay? Nice to meet you again. What do you think about...
I know it's a joke. What else would it be?
What do you think about Anderson said about you? You breaking all your bones, your teeth, your legs, your face. Say something about Anderson Silva here from Brazil.
No, look, Anderson's going to have his opportunity. And if he does any or all of those things, it won't be the first time. But what he didn't say is that he's going to break my spirit. What he didn't say is he's going to leave with the victory, and he's not. I don't care about bones, and I damn sure don't care about going to the hospital or the orthodontist. It's all happened before. I care about 12 pounds of gold, and I'm coming to take it. Easy way or hard way, either way, I'm leaving with that belt.
Well, I think in the first round, Anderson Silva will win this fight because I'm from Brazil and there are a lot of people from Brazil here. What do you say about the Brazilian who comes here to Vegas?
What do I think of the Brazilians that come to
Yes.
Vegas? I think that's awesome, man. I think that's the way that a fan should do it. You know, that's like the English fans when there's a boxing event. Ricky Hatton comes to town. They fly over and they take over the stadium. You know, I think that kind of support's awesome. Anderson's not from there. Anderson's from California, Beverly Hills, and I'm sure some of his friends in his neighborhood in Beverly Hills flew out here too.
Okay. Oh, you say bad things from Brazil, but I have.
Ask me some questions. Don't let this guy take over. This guy's a fan. He's not even media.
For you from Brazil.
This is the media's getting trumped by
this
this
is a gift
guy.
for you from
That's
Brazil.
a very nice
It's a
gift.
nice
Huh? That's very nice.
She would like to give.
Oh, you can. That's not true.
Can she kiss you?
Not here.
You
no,
don't like?
No. I'm sure she's a nice girl. No, I don't just kiss random people, but that's very nice. That's very nice.
Okay.
I'm a Catholic. There's a
Good luck.
process.
Good
We don't
luck
go
in the
around
fight.
kissing
Good luck
people.
in the fight.
That's nice of you. Thank
Okay.
you, buddy.
Give me
I
a hug.
appreciate
Give
you
me a
coming
hug.
out too.
Okay.
You know, not just the
Anderson will
fans,
win.
but the media too. You know, that's cool.
Anderson vai arrebentar essa cara.
Suffered a stroke during your training camp. How did that affect you mentally while preparing?
Well, he snapped right out of it, and I mean, it was a big. Yeah, thank you, buddy. It was a big deal, and it was sad. It was sad to. Now that's a man he brought me, right? That was a joke. That is a man. That's a man in that dress, isn't it?
Sure was.
You know, it was scary. Yeah, but he pulled through. So you know, I'm relieved.
Also, I know that you have your book out right now, The Voice of Reason.
Voice of Reason.
Anderson has out Like Water. Have you at all seen that movie or documentary that he's put out, and what are your thoughts on it?
I have not seen it, but I want to see it. In fact, a friend of mine makes a cameo in the movie, and that's pretty cool, but I haven't had the chance.
I was curious about the NSAC hearing. I saw that you stuck around after your exemption was granted and listened to Nick Diaz's case. Was there any particular reason that you stayed there and listened to the details of his hearing?
Well, two reasons. One, I'm an analyst on UFC Tonight, and I wanted to get the story. And two, I had nowhere else to go.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
You were saying you were an analyst on UFC TV. What question do you have for the media?
Question for the media? Oh, I don't have any questions for the media. I answer questions. I don't ask questions of the media.
If you could ask one question, what would it be?
If I could ask a question, I would ask that the media did their research a little bit better. They put out a lot of misinformation, which happens on all levels, but it's really rampant within our sport. And it's really important that you don't paraphrase somebody else's article and just trust that they got it right. It's important that you actually find out if the events even happened.
Chael, do you feel like the media's knowledgeable about TRT?
I can't tell you. Yeah, it was not pleasant, but that's him. I don't do the unpleasant stuff. He likes to get dirty. I'm still a family event. No profanity from me.
Do you have a rebuttal for him?
No, I don't.
Hey, Chael.
Saturday night.
Anderson said
You got it.
He was asked if Anderson showed a lot of respect to you after the last fight. He said he would do that again. What would happen in the fight? Do you plan to do the same?
Yeah, I don't do respect. That's little kid talk. That's what some street thug says before he takes your coat and shoes. Yeah, this isn't about respect. It's about victory. Period. And I will always shake hands after a competition. I have my whole life. I don't wish Anderson Silva a bad life, but I am going to bring him a lot of pain within the rules and the confines of that octagon on Saturday. After that, that's it. It ends there, and we walk out our separate ways. The toughest fight I've ever had was against Yushin Okami. My last fight was with Michael Bisping. That was a hard puzzle for me too, man. Bisping was so hard for my skills, to deal with. The matchup, I thought he was a really tough guy too. Plus he hit me one time that changed the whole fight. Hit me hard. I wouldn't think so. I look at Bisping as a top guy. He's had a number of main event fights. He's a top 10 fighter. I've never fought a guy in the UFC that wasn't in the top 10, not once. I've had the hardest schedule of anybody in the UFC. And, I wouldn't imagine that I would be capable of underestimating anybody at this point.
Two more questions.
Now, with that said, I did not know he was as good as he was.
Chael, do you feel like the media is well enough informed about TRT?
I've never heard anything accurate said about it. I've never heard one guy hit it on the head. They're also greatly misguided in that that's where the bullseye is. There's a number of substances that are better than TRT. I take them, and they're completely legal. And the bullseye has been put around TRT. There's a number of things you could take. And I also hear the term performance enhancing. You should be embarrassed if you ever say that. You would never take anything if you didn't think it would help your performance. That's what medicine is in America. In other countries, I don't know. I can't speak of them. But in America, if a doctor gives you something and it's not meant to enhance you, that's malpractice. It's illegal. And I hear media always love to say performance enhancing. It kind of scratches your head. Well, duh. Why else would a guy take it?
What you've seen from Anderson this week with his demeanor and him blowing up and going on his rants, do you feel like you've won the mental game of chess going into this fight?
I don't think there is a mental side to it. I've never looked into that or thought about that a bit. I'm in his head, but he's in my head too. So what? That's what drives me and motivates me. So who cares? Look, at the press conference, he was trying to get disqualified. He was trying to start a fight so that he could then say, oh, I can't, Chael hit me and now I can't fight Saturday. It was very transparent and obvious. It was very hard to keep a straight face because I knew what he was doing. But I am going to wait. I've been around the guy a number of times when I'd love to drag him outside and beat him up. But I'm going to wait until 7/7 at 7 p.m. and only on pay-per-view, and I'm going to give the whole world an opportunity to watch me do it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.
One more? She just wishes me well, and that's it. I appreciate that. She follows the sport closely, but she just wishes me come back safe, and for my opponent too. We're not here to hurt anybody.
This video has been brought to you by Boss Rutan's O2 Trainer. Get yours at o2trainer.com.